Well, it's almost that time, my viewers and subscribers. West Indies versus Pakistan, the first of 3 T20s. Now, you can say that the core of the squad that went up against Australia in those 5 T20s remain. You know, a couple of changes, but I can imagine the hurt will definitely be felt by even the players that were just brought into the squad. I would imagine that Shea Hope and his soldiers will be looking at this series as an opportunity to start righting the wrong that was done. You understand? It's not going to be easy, you know, and I don't know if we can ever get over that hurt of losing 8-0 at home. You understand? We can almost understand the test matches because, you know, we rarely do anything in test cricket, but the fact that most of these guys run up and down behind T20 cricket, to lose 5-0 at home to a second string team, you know, it doesn't look good. Albeit that second string team was pretty good, you know, pretty strong. I'm not saying that, you know, I just still have to point out the fact that they weren't the first choice players that Australia could have pulled in, right? But that is behind us, as Shea Hope would say. And, you know, he had indicated that he believes, well, he knows that we will definitely win this series if we perform 10 times better than what we did against Australia. So probably, so if we end up not winning, then it simply means it wasn't 10 times better, or probably Pakistan performed well also, right? But that is what Skip was saying. But it's going to be very interesting, my viewers and subscribers, because, you know, it's away from home. They probably won't feel that pressure of the fans in the stands, as well as, you know, they probably could use the fans behind them pushing them, you know. Only that they won't really have the numbers behind them. But going into this game though, my viewers and subscribers, we always talk about keys to victory and things like that, but, you know, it's basically always the same things, you know. It's the same things that we need to get right. You know, it's the same things that we need to get right if we are going to really and truly put up a good performance. You know, Pakistan, they have a nice squad there. You know, we don't know what this, well, it's not the first time we are playing at this ground. Probably gonna spin, you know, so I don't know how they're going, what sort of playing 11 they're going to go with, but whichever way go, my people, after that 5-0 dropping in the last T20 series, we need to get off to a win. You understand? To basically keep the people sane. Let's put it that way. To keep the fans sane, they need to get off to a win. You know, we might not end up winning the series, but they need to win this game tonight to start reeling back the fans. The fans are on edge right now. You understand? Fans are on edge right now, so, you know, we definitely need a comprehensive win in the first game tonight. You know, so that simply means that the guys who have been in the squad, you know, especially coming out of that last series there against Australia, and if they were a part of the series when we played against, part of the squad when we played against England recently, all of those guys, you know, they will have to dig deep. They will have to summon something from down within and make sure that they lead from the front. You know, we have we have like 3 changes coming in. I mean, Casey Carty was already there from the last game that we played against Australia. So, you know, 4 changes overall, but Casey Carty, as I said, was already there. So you can say 3 changes. You know, we expect the guys coming in to feature. Don't know if all of them will feature tonight, but, you know, the ones that have been there before, the ones that went through that series against Australia, they need to put in some work. You understand? They need to put in some work. And even though we lost the games against Australia, there are certain things that we saw that, you know, we have to say yes. You know, if we can continue those, then we probably can, you know, we probably can improve on the things that we weren't doing too well, and continue the ones that we did pretty well. You know, if you look at what we did in the power play in most of the games, right? I think about 3 or so games we had Shea Hope and Brandon King not doing too bad at all. understand, getting us off to a good start. You know, if we can do the same thing, you know, bat out the power play, get a good 60, you understand, 50 at 60 or so, and you know, come out of the power play without too many wickets down. I've always said it's T20 cricket, you know, so if you lose a 1 wicket in the power play, it's not too bad. If you're coming out of the power play 50 at 60, close to 60 if it's a good power play, and you lose 1 wicket or 2, you know, you can work with it. You understand? Because the other guys will have the rest to bat. But you know, we still have to be careful, you know. Guys that actually get in need to stay in, because you know, even though you have wickets in hand, it doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna come and score. No runs is there put down for anyone. You know, so we're definitely looking forward to the guys getting off to a good start in the power play. And you know, it's the same thing with the bowling power play. You know, we're hoping that whoever we have bowling in the power play, they will you know, they will be able to keep it a little tighter than we were able to against Australia. You know, keep it tight. Probably we can look at new things, change up things a bit. I know that we use Akil Hussain to control the power play. Generally speaking, he's usually solid. You know, over the last couple of series, though, you know, he hasn't really taken a lot of wickets in the power play. But generally speaking, he's pretty good in the power play for us. And you know, you need at least one person you can count on. Going up against Pakistan, we might have to rethink that. You know, the guys at the top there, they might love the fact that we have a spinner up there. You know, even if we go with a spinner, it doesn't necessarily, you know, we don't necessarily have to go with Hussain. But whichever way they go, my people, we have to be more tidy in the power play. You understand? We can't have guys bowling 4 and 5 wides in 1 over. You know, them things, that's a recipe for disaster. You understand? So we're really and truly looking forward to those 2 areas there. Now, batting wise, something that we have been very strong at, but we didn't execute very well against Australia the last 5 to 6 overs of our batting, you know, the depth overs. Usually we would have guys coming in and giving us a good amount of runs of the last 5-6 overs. But for some reason, I mean, Nathan Ellis and them guys for Australia, they bowled well in the power play, yes, but at the same in the death overs, yes, but at the same time, you know, we have to find a way to score. We definitely need to find a way to score. You understand? And it's the same thing when we're bowling in the power play. We have to find a way to keep it tight. You understand? We definitely need to find a way to keep it tight. I see where quite a few people, well, not quite a few, you know, a couple of people have been asking about Shamar Joseph and saying why is he not in the squad and he's the Australian krypton. Well, why wasn't he against Australia in the T20 and he's their kryptonite and thing? But we have to remember that, you know, he was injured prior to the Test series. You understand? We got him to bowl in the Test series, finish healthy. So you probably don't want to overwork him. Plus, if we're being honest, his T20 career hasn't gotten off to the best of starts just yet. So I could understand why they opted to go in another direction. Now that one speedster is out, or probably that was the case. Probably that was the plan from morning, to play Alzari and then rest Shamar Joseph against Australia in the T20s, and then bring him back in these against Pakistan. Because as I said, you know, we have seen where he has suffered a few injuries and things since making his debut. So we have to be careful. You understand? We have to be careful. I mean, one might ask, so is it that Alzari Joseph is always fit and ready and they always playing him? Everybody's bodies, you know, the body is different. People perform different. You understand? Everybody perform different. So, you know, I guess they know what they're doing. So we're hoping that Shamar will be able to do some work for us if he gets the opportunity to go out there tonight. You understand? As I said, it's going to be very interesting to see how our players react after that 5-0 drubbing at home. You understand? Pakistan won't roll over and die. So we're gonna have to fight for it. But we have come to realize that especially with our bowling. You know, if we're batting first, anything under 200 might not be safe. Even if the record at the ground said that, boy, if you get 165, 170, you are safe. You know, with our bowling, we probably need that. And it's the same thing if we're bowling first. We probably need to try and restrict our bowl out any team for under 190, because you know it's tough. It's tough. We need to be able to put together a good game. You understand? We see departments doing their thing. Bowling department doing well, and then you might have batting department doing well. You know, but we need the full thing together. We need the batting and the bowling department to click and to fire together as a unit. You understand? And then the fielding goes without saying. You know, we have to be careful in the field. We cannot be putting down catches. You know, we need to effect the runouts when they are there. You understand? All of the basic things that we need to make sure that we win the game, we need to take those. You understand? Rotating the strike. Pakistan, they know that whenever they come up against us, they will try to use spin. You know, our spin is a good option. We need the guys that are in the team to really face most of the spin. We need them to do their jobs. Make sure that they don't have spinners bowling 4 overs for 10 or 4 overs for 12. We have to make sure that, you know, we are rotating the strike. Not saying that we're going to be careless. We're going to be purposeful, yes, as a batting group. But make sure that you're not playing careless cricket. You understand? So that is basically, you know, who I'm looking at it, my people. But the people of the Caribbean, the people of the world, they need this win. They need West Indies doing well. You understand? A lot of the guys, you know, even former cricketers outside of West Indies, you will hear them say, especially from in the subcontinent, you will hear a lot of them saying, you know, West Indies is your second team. You know, I was listening to something earlier this morning where Sunil Gavaskar was speaking, and you know, you could see that, you know, West Indies was definitely he had some good battles with our players back in the days, but you know, you could see that the respect that he has for the team, or for the name, because the team isn't as good as it was before. South Africa, all of these teams, and you will hear them talk about the West Indies team of old and this and that. So, you know, people still out there want to see West Indies cricket strive. You know, you might have a few that they are still scarred from what we did to them back in the day, so they might not be too happy with us winning games and things. But you know, the cricketing world definitely needs a strong West Indies team. And I think that, I'm not saying that if we win this series, it's a turnaround or whatever, are we going to win the World Cup and all of them sort of things. I'm just saying that, you know, we need to start with this series. We have to, man. We have to. The people of the Caribbean need it, man. We were drained against Australia, so we have to find a way to basically, you know, restore some hope. And I say we, like I'm a part of it. Them need to find a way. The players need to find a way to make sure that the fans are still, you know, locked in. The fans are still passionate about it. You know, it's life. You know, no one likes to lose. Everybody likes to win. You know, everybody likes to win. And when you constantly have to deal with losing, especially over the last 20, 30 years, it's not easy. It's not easy, you know. So going up against Pakistan now, I just want us to do well, you know. And as much as we curse and complain, I can tell you, those who are listening to this video, I know you will be up watching the game tonight. So, you know, we'll talk after the game or the following morning. So big up on yourself, my people, and stay safe.